Recently, I just moved into one of the new universities. I was going for a career, particularly a career in reporting stuff, like a journalist of sorts. I wasn't considering doing it for full term, but it was a job I was interested in, so I took it. Now, being sent to a rather big and public area, I wasn't thinking of even doing much there in the first place, but I did meet a couple of friends while I was there. One of them actually told me a bit of a scary story regarding this university, and I figured you guys might want to hear it. It's pretty interesting, to say the least. It all started a long time ago, during 1990 something. Just goes to show how old this tale is, but nonetheless I find it pretty interesting. So, one of the guys that came here a long time ago, a janitor of sorts, he was cleaning throughout the hallways when he heard chattering in one of the main rooms. It was on the upstairs floor, which meant he had to go up there to hear it a lot better, and naturally, he wasn't going to, considering obviously he didn't like to intrude into other people's personal conversations. But eventually, after a while of doing this, and it slowly becoming dark outside, and the people still being up, he was at least piqued to see what this was all about. Making his way up the stairs to room 4B, he then decided that he would only listen for a bit just to see what the conversation was obviously about. They were talking about some work regarding their specific subjects, which was normal, except for the fact they were doing it in hushed tones, as if they could sense that he was listening in on them. After a while of this, he eventually left and called it a day. Perhaps the weirdest thing, however, is the next day when he came back, the room was silent. Even though he had to clean that part of the corridor on one of the upper levels, he decided that it would probably be best off if he just ignored the following that happened the previous day and focused on his work. On the third day, however, things began to get weird. Progressive and loud whispers could be heard throughout the hallway, and even more so in that particular dorm room. The janitor, still fazed by this, was curious as to really what was going on in there, but naturally didn't have the interest to peek in. Who would? After a while, though, of cleaning on the floor, he eventually finished and was about to pack up his stuff, when he heard more of the progressive and loud whispers. This time, however, they were much closer, as if they were in the hallway itself. Now, this is where I began to get freaked out, considering no one was in the hallway, and it was beginning to get dark. Now, that being said, the lights were on in the hall, so I'm pretty sure he would have seen anything if anything was in there. But there wasn't. So naturally, he left, without muttering a single word. It was only on the fourth day, however, that people began to catch on this bizarre and unsettling coincidence. The janitor even informed members of staff, and they got pretty curious too. Later on, the room was checked, well, not thoroughly at least. All that could be found in the room was just a mess of both clutter and really strange items, such as wrappers and all that kind of rubbish. But perhaps the most unsettling part about all of this is the fact that blood could be found in one of the bedrooms in the dorm. And to this very day, people say that if you wait until the early hours of the morning, you can actually hear the sounds of conversations in the upper floor. And you know what's funny? I'm in the exact same room as the people that were allegedly killed in there, and not gonna lie, the past couple of times I woke up early, I did actually hear some conversations. The question is, are they real?